Hey, what's going on, everybody? So I wanted to do this follow-up video because I recently looked at an old video that I put up in 2016 regarding ectopic pregnancies. And at that time, I was on my second ectopic pregnancy, and I was going through a lot, like really dealing with a lot at that time. And I literally just put that video up because I wanted to vent. I had to release it, and I wanted to tell my story because I feel like, other women need to know about, this type of issue, and we need a place that we can vent, right? So since then, literally a year to that date, around the same time last year, Memorial weekend, found out I was pregnant again. And unfortunately, it turned out to be another ectopic pregnancy. So I ended up having 3 ectopic pregnancies. The third one, I had to have my tube removed because my tube actually ruptured while I was at work, and literally had to drive myself to the emergency room. Now, granted, when I found out that I was pregnant Memorial weekend last year, I went to the doctor and they were like, it's too early to know. Like, don't worry, it's too early. We'll check you next week and, we'll see what's going on. But I'm like, I've been through this twice before. I know my body. I know what's going on. And before I can even have my next doctor's appointment, that's when I had to rush to the emergency room. And then when they did all the tests and everything, they were like, we got to get rid of that tube at this point because this is your 3rd ectopic pregnancy. It's time to go. You know what I mean? And at that point in time, I was like, yeah, it's time to let that thing kick rocks, But that was a very emotional time for me. Anytime you're going through a miscarriage or, losing a baby, it's just a hard time, So I had to deal with, having my left tube removed. I was happy because I didn't want to go through it a 4th time. And I didn't want to take that medication. And I had my sister, my mom there, which was wonderful. But it was just like, damn, why me again? Like literally a year to the day, I gotta go through this again. And luckily, I went through it pretty strongly. Like I kept myself positive. I did not, sink into a dark place, but I knew the situation and I was in recovery after my surgery. So it was kind of like, my main focus is being healthy and just following up with an infertility doctor about, the possibilities of using my right tube. And let's see what's going on with that, because 3 times I've gotten pregnant on my left side. What's going on with the right, So I let some time go by. I let my healing take place. And then I followed up with an infertility doctor because I wanted to know what was going on with my right tube, right? So at this time, I'm like, I know this right tube is going to ache right? Unfortunately, my right tube was damaged too, and I have no idea at this time why, right? So the doctor says, you're going to have to, you can't use that tube. That tube is damaged. And then he showed me the images and he said, there is fluid that is building up in this right tube. And that fluid leaks out into your uterus. So if you even want to try IVF, you can't have your tube leaking out fluids into your uterus. It will cause a miscarriage. It won't be successful with the IVF transfer. So I said, oh my God. I literally went into that doctor's office with all of the hope in the world, and everything just came crashing down when he told me that. And so he said, he was trying to be encouraging, but at that time I was like, I really wanted to try and conceive and have a baby naturally. I really wasn't thinking about IVF. But now that I found out that, my tube is the right tube that I have remaining, is no longer usable, IVF is my only treatment, right? So he says, you have to get rid of your right tube in order to have successful IVF transfer. I'm like, just get rid of it. At this point in time, I already see the images. It looks crazy. Go ahead, get rid of that right tube. I'm just going to try IVF. So scheduled to have my tube removed. So last year in December is when I had my right tube removed. So I had the left tube removed in June of last year, and then my right tube removed in December of last year. So right now I am tubeless. However, now I can try IVF, right? So I'm super excited about that. And luckily my insurance pays a nice hefty portion. And so I said, once I'm ready, I know that that is an option for me. And I told y'all last video, I was like, if I can do IVF or I can adopt. It's plenty of beautiful babies out there that needs homes, right? So anyways, this is another thing. Literally when I had my surgery in December, the doctor found endometrial hyperplasia inside of my uterus, which is precancerous cells. So at this time, y'all can just imagine what I'm thinking about. I'm like, oh my God. Like literally I thought once I got rid of this right tube, all I got to do is just jump right into the IVF treatment. But no, he says, you know, you have to get this treated because if it is far along, it could be cancer. If not, then what you'll do is you'll follow up with a, you know, an oncologist, and then they will then create a plan for you. And me and the oncologist, you know, the infertility doctor and the oncologist will both hash out plans so that you can be successful in both ends, right? So I'm just like, oh my God, if it's not one thing, it's another. So follow up with a oncologist, and I go into that doctor's appointment and she's already like, oh, well, you know, it could be 40 to 60% chance that it's already cancer. And so at this point, you're going to have to be put on this medication, which is called Megestrol or Megas. And you're going to take this medication for 3 months, and then we're going to see what this medication does. And so I'm thinking, wow. Oh my God. Another hurdle I have to get over, but you know what? That's all right. I've been through a lot. I'm pretty strong. So at this point in time, let's do it, right? So I'm placed on this medication, right? Literally January, because I had to follow up with someone right after I was able to, right after the doctor released me after the surgery, right? So was on that medication for 3 months. And of course, my doctor tells me all of the side effects. One of the side effects is, of course, it messes with your periods. And one thing she did not tell me is that it also messes with your mood, okay? Because literally when I was on that medication for 3 months, I have had the moodiest moods of ever. I was a total bitch. And it was just really hard being on the medication because, oh my God, y'all, it just had me so down and depressed. I would cry for no reasons. I felt like I was PMSing 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So you can kind of understand, like, oh my God, this medication is not, it's not the business, you know? And I had to be on that for 3 months. And so literally had to go through taking the medication, and then with my mood swings, also my periods hasn't been normal. Also, another thing is that medication makes you gain weight. So remember, if you watch my weight loss video, then you know, okay, you gotta lose weight in order to get this surgery, right? They want you to lose a certain amount of weight before you actually are approved for the surgery. But literally taking that medication has made me gain close to 10 pounds for 3 months. So now I am at the time where I'm like, oh my God, I'm trying to get this weight loss surgery because literally the oncologist told me if you lose weight, most of your problems will go away. You won't have major problems like this endometrial hyperplasia. You won't have problems with, you know, possible diabetes, heart disease, all this other kind of stuff if you eat right and you lose this weight. So that's one of the reasons why I decided to lose the weight. So why do I have to take this medication that's going to make me gain weight? I don't know. But anyways, so I took the medication for 3 months, and now, you know, April comes and I have to follow up with my oncologist. And I'm just praying that she tells me good news. So she says, okay, come in. We got to do a biopsy, send it off to labs, see if the medication worked. Thank God the medication worked, because my biopsy came back negative. Oh my God, the praise, whoo, the blessings. I was like, thank you, Lord Jesus, for at least bringing me through this without losing my mind, because damn it, all the stuff that I had gone through the years prior to this, and then this going on, and then me trying to have a baby, it's like, oh my God, it was just way too much. Now I can focus on really my health and just getting my weight down, because this weight loss surgery now is the most important thing that I have to have done so that I can avoid any complications. And really another thing too, so my oncologist says the weight loss surgery will be a good idea, and so did my infertility doctor, and they both agreed that I need to lose enough weight in order for me to be healthy and in order for me to have a successful pregnancy. So right now I'm just focusing on my mental health, my spiritual health, my emotional health, and I'm focusing on getting the surgery done by July. And I'm focusing on my family. I'm focusing on my business, building my brand. And, even though I've gone through 3 ectopic pregnancies, and I think all the time about if I were to have, or if I was to be able to have those children, what would I be like? Where would I be? How would I be? And I always think about what my babies would have looked like and what it would have been like to just, be a mom of 3. And, it still gets sad. That is a void that no one is going to be able to fill. And the pain is not going to go away. You just have to learn how to live with it. And I've learned how to live with it. And there is always times where I think about what I've gone through. And there's always times when I think about, I see other women who have children who are pregnant, and, it still hurts. I'm human. I'm a woman and I'm human. It still hurts. But I know that, that's going to be for me. It's a possibility for me now. I see it. And I don't have to go through any more ectopic pregnancies. I don't have to go through that. And that right there, I look at that as a positive. And that's all I do now, is that even though I've gone through a lot, and I've, gone through 2 surgeries and 3 lost babies, or lost pregnancies, basically, I look at the fact that, that has built me up into a stronger woman. I have been able to really appreciate, my body, my life, my health. I've been able to, just basically prepare myself for the family that I'm going to have in the future. So I just want you guys to know, I'm not worried at all. If God sees it for me, then it's for me. But I know I have options out there now, and I know that it is a possibility. So I'm just focusing on being a happy person, which I have been doing very well at, other than the time when I had to take that damn medication. Yes. So I just want you guys to just hang in there. You know what I mean? If there are any questions you have, you are welcome to ask me on IG at Nisha is the brand, and all of my information is going to be in the box below. And I just want you guys to just stay positive and know that everything is going to be okay. This is a hard time. If you're going through it at this time right now, if this is your first time going through it, trust me, baby girl, it's not as bad as you think it is. I will say this: let this build you up, and let this make you stronger. And you have to continue to pray and believe, have faith, and know that that positive energy that you put out there, you will get it back. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'm about to go. You see me recording. Y'all let me go and get him together. Y'all have a good night.